Why didn't I go with a tune on my Toyota Tacoma? Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. So why no tune for my Toyota Tacoma? Why did I go with the Sprint Booster? You know, there's a saying out there that I really believe in, and that is that tunes are for the track and the Sprint Booster is for driving. And I really do believe that. So let me tell you my story, how I even came about the Sprint Booster to begin with. You know, it goes back to being unhappy with the power of the Toyota Tacoma. You know, I just didn't believe that there was any way that truck couldn't be more powerful, that something must be off. So I started doing research, and of course I came across the tunes. There's several different versions out there. And then the Sprint Booster type devices. You know, you plug them into the accelerator and it gets rid of throttle lag. Well, it kind of dawned on me that, you know, the Tacoma does have lag. When I hit the gas, it doesn't take right off. And that is affecting my satisfaction, my driving experience. So I kind of thought about the two. I still thought, well, maybe the tune's the answer. I was skeptical that plugging a device into the accelerator would do anything. I really had a hard time believing that. But then I also thought that, you know, a tune is rather risky and probably overkill for what I want. You know, with a tune, you can go in and you can change the throttle, you can get rid of throttle lag, but you have all these other things. And it's messing with the brains of your truck or any vehicle. I mean, you can use tunes and you can use the Sprint Booster on several different vehicles. So I didn't like that idea. I wasn't real comfortable with it. And then I got to thinking, well, you know, maybe I should bite the bullet, buy the software, learn how to use the software, and go ahead and set up my own tune. But then after considering the time involved in that and trying to learn a whole new language, you know, the software, and the expense. I mean, buying the software yourself is not cheap. It's somewhere probably around $600 to $1,000, depending on what you get. And then if you can't come up with your own tune, you get to buy a tune anyway. Another $200, $300, $400, depending, and you have to trust somebody to do it. So I decided that was going to be a last-ditch effort for me. That was the end. That would be something I would do if I couldn't find any other solution. So I thought, you know, for the money and all the reviews I had seen out there about the Sprint Booster and how successful it was and it'll change your truck, I thought I'm going to go ahead and buy this. So I did. I bought the Sprint Booster unit. I put it on my Tacoma, and the rest is history. If you've seen the install video, and it's down below, by the way, along with a discount code for Sprint Booster, and this really isn't a Sprint Booster commercial, it's just my experience. But I became a believer immediately. If you watch that video, you'll see why. But it was just amazing to me, the difference that it made, and then I was confident that I had made the right decision. So I thought there's still one little piece in there that I want to be sure of, and that is it going to cause any problems? You know, you can put things in, and then after a while, maybe you develop some issue. You know, a check engine light, some other light pops up, who knows? So I am very happy to say that the unit has been on my Tacoma for quite a long time now. I have had no issues. It works just like it did day one. Very simple to use. You can change the settings and stuff as long as you're not pushing on the accelerator going down the road. Make sure you don't do that. Ideally, I think you'd want to be at a standstill, stopped. So that's another thing too about the tune. You know, I've had several people, which is why I'm making this video to begin with, but I've had several people ask me, well, what's the difference? Why didn't you go with a tune? Well, here's the difference the way I see it. As I mentioned earlier, you could buy the software yourself, learn how to use it, come up with your own tune. You know, who's going to do that? Who's going to spend the time on it? Not me. Or Or you can go meet up with somebody you don't know, let them hook into the truck's brain, and then scramble it up a bit and hope that they do a good job, that they know what they're doing. I'm sure there's a lot of good tuners out there. I'm not really here to dog the tuners. I just think it's overkill for what someone like me was trying to achieve, and that was a quicker truck with no throttle lag. The other thing is that once you have a tune, it's set. It's in the truck's brain. That's how it's going to react from that point on. And you can't do anything about it unless you go back to the tuner and have a different tune done, have it removed, whatever. You don't have that with the Sprint Booster. It has its little control unit that you can set and take off, by the way, or you can leave it on like I'm doing so that you can change the settings at will if you want to. You can even turn it off if you want to for some reason. You can't do that with a tune. Once your truck is tuned, it is set. You can't change it. You have to go find a guy and hopefully, or gal, and hopefully they're still around and aren't going to charge you even more money to change the tune. And that's another thing. I mean, are you going to have to shell out another $200 or $300? I mean, realistically, you probably should. You know, they are performing a service for you, and it's not their fault if you didn't like the tune. Or you can just live with it. And who wants to do that? That might even be a worse situation than what you had before. In other words, you've now got a truck that's got a tune on it that you don't like. Imagine that. That would be horrible. Again, the good thing about the Sprint Booster is you can change the settings if you want to. There are a myriad of different settings that you can choose from, and you can go ahead and change it up if you want. I have to get around a slow-moving vehicle here. Okay, there we go. They're hauling something on the top of their truck. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, those are just a few advantages as far as I'm concerned and why I didn't go with the tune. You know, as I mentioned, it would have been a last-ditch effort. I most likely would have done it if I could find somebody to do it that I actually could trust. But it was only then for me. I'm very happy to say that it's not necessary for what I'm doing. I'm not tracking my car or my truck or my whatever. I'm not going out and doing circles, you know, on the pavement, on the asphalt, which would be fun to do, by the way, but it's just not something I'm doing. So I don't need that. I don't need to be able to get into the truck's brains and change every little minute detail. I just wanted it to be quicker. So that's why I went with the Sprint Booster. I love it. I think it's an awesome device. I highly recommend it. Other people have asked me, well, what about the other units out there that are available? You know, Sprint Booster's not the only one. That may be true, but Sprint Booster is the original, and from all of my research, they're the only ones that didn't have tons and tons of problems after the install, like check engine lights, like other lights lighting up on the screen. They're the ones to go with. I've had no problems. Easy install. I love the product. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. You know, why didn't I go with the tune? Why did I go with the Sprint Booster? Well, there you have it. Those are my reasons. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. And Robmotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator, which we happen to be riding in right now. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.